Hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Rotten Movie Reviews. Today, we are reviewing the 2003 movie Matchstick Men, starring, obviously, Nicolas Cage, because we've been going down his entire thing. It's got him, Sam Rockwell, Alison Lohman, Bruce Altman, Bruce McGill. But, gotta switch back to OBS. Joining me, as always, is Tyr Alexander. Tyr, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
And,
How you been?
not so bad. Could have done better at the range. But joining us as well is Angela. Angela, how you doing?
Doing all right. Sorry about the range.
Eh, sometimes you shoot bad, sometimes you don't.
Uh,
It's a gun I'd never shot before, so yeah, I don't expect to be,
So
Annie
if you
Oakley
hit
with
the
it.
target, you did good.
I had more problems with distance than I did with close range. But then joining us as well is he here? Will, are you there with us? He's still muted, so he might be using that restroom because he has to rest.
I was gonna say that his toaster might need attention.
oh God.
No,
Why we all check groceries?
that's been something that's been stuck in my head ever since I went through a driver's training thing where my driving instructor or one of our instructors was just like, we obviously have the restroom over here in case you need to rest. And it made me giggle at 16. It's just been stuck in my head ever since.
It's because it's cute.
But okay, so this movie, 2003, Nicolas Cage, he's a con artist. And, you know, things change because he's got like a mixture of like Tourette's and OCD almost. To have it to where, with he gets prescribed, he runs out of medication because of a mistake, gets knocked into the drain, and the garbage disposal was running because that was a smart thing to do. I am way too meticulous with medications I have had for that, especially ones I'm supposed to have. If I can't go
Yeah,
buy
who
it,
doesn't use a pill bottle?
he had it in a pill bottle.
No, a pill box.
Oh, I don't use a pill box. I use a pill bottle.
Keep them in
Parents.
the bottle until you go to take them. With the
Ah,
exception
and
of,
there's Will. Will, how you doing?
doing all right. Say with the exception of if you have like one of those daily pill things, you fill out the
I
week
have one of
beforehand.
those. That's
I have one of those too.
And
I
also,
have
how's it
one
going,
that I
Mr.
need to
Scott?
use more.
But yeah, so it's like him and his partner. They obviously con people, and because of him going to a new going to a psychiatrist to try to get medication to help with his issues, ends up having a suppose it's like reaching out to his former wife, and just the way things go, I suppose that he has a daughter, ends up having a connection with her. They're going to do a long con on someone else. Bing, bada, boom. Actually, turns out that this person he had a connection with, all of this was a con on him to get all the money he had gained over the years.
Make a twist on the long con there.
Well, I
So a
kind of
double
saw it
long
coming. I kind of saw it coming a little bit that it was most likely his friend was conning him as well. I didn't expect that it was that far forward. Like I expected his friend was or his former partner was conning him on the one job with the one guy, or with what they were doing for the long con, and should
Right.
have
yeah.
known that it was done right as soon as he's like, "Oh, go to the psychiatrist." Because for everything like that, even though it was 2003, the stuff was still new. It'd been pretty easy to find out whether or not you had a kid.
Yeah, that's another thing. Why didn't you go and hey, I want a paternity test. I
Because he was operating under his wife was pregnant when she left him.
Yeah,
yeah,
Which
but he's
she had been, and
yeah.
he wanted to believe.
yeah,
Wizard's
but
first rule.
And again,
well,
it's the whole thing of all he would have had to do is go down to the records office, file a simple FOIA request. I mean, all in all,
but
though,
even then,
I'll still say it wasn't a bad movie.
No,
but
it was
that
quite. Quite
But
entertaining.
again, he didn't have to go, wasn't going to go through anything for the paternity test, and he wasn't looking at that until he wanted to actually take any custody. Because again,
Yeah,
if you're going to look at the whole thing of like, oh, paternity test, 2003 was just as bad. That if they'd have found out that he was her father, oh, the courts would have
He's
came
on the
after
hook for
a whole
child
bunch of
support.
back child support.
Yep.
Okay, but my argument is he stated she was messing around on him and he didn't know whose it was.
Yeah, okay, I don't remember that part.
Well, it was the way that he presented it as one of those technicalities because he was trying to get involved in the custody. So for them to give him any time officially, he had to then prove the connection.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if somebody turns around and bails on you with your kid, I'm likely to say that you're gonna say that it's probably not your kid to justify not having reached out to her in all that time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because if it definitely was his kid, they'd have got the whole court system involved on it. Shit, I'm out of water. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. So it's actually a really good movie. I
Yes.
loved the
I
cast.
liked it.
It was well performed. It was a strong storyline. I had a really good time with this movie.
Yeah, they did great with the casting. They did an excellent job with the plot. The twists that they put into it were both unpredictable, or both predictable and shocking at the same time. Because you knew a twist was coming, but even the twist that you thought you saw from the beginning had a twist inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
A double twist.
And I'll still
I
say I
lost track of
wasn't.
how many twists it had at the end. So.
I'll honestly admit, though, I was not necessarily expecting how they were going to end it. It's like, okay, so he got a regular job because obviously he's done with the con. But then it's like, okay, yep, well, he pretty much probably already had the house paid off because that would have been the smart thing to do as a con man. Not have any debt.
Right.
But then to have him, come home and it's like, oh, he's with the chick who was the cashier.
Yeah.
And they're having a kid.
He got, at least he got a happy ending.
Well, you can tell pretty quickly in that his connection to that one register, while there was an OCD connection, he was definitely sweet on the cashier. And you could tell it was reciprocated.
Well, it was very Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt in As Good as It Gets.
I mean, that's how some people see the way those things are. I just assume any woman that I talk to in that whole thing that she's just being nice or polite to me because then I can't have failed expectations or you're like, well, I'm going to go jump off a pier real quick. There'll be water underneath it. I'm not going to kill myself. Just
hurt yourself very badly. Do not ever do that.
Just try to wash the shame off.
Well, it depends on the pier now.
I live in Michigan, so I'm gonna the closest I'm aware of. I'd have to go to South Haven.
I don't care where you'd have to go. Do not throw yourself off any bridges.
Oh, I'm not gonna throw myself. I'm gonna jump like I'm gonna be going swimming in a way. I'll just make sure I don't have everything on me.
Yeah, there's. Here, there's only a couple of piers where you're gonna hit anything bad other than water if you don't clear it by a couple feet.
And so he can jump off a key. Good to know.
Jump off a what?
Key. A quay.
Jump off a sand dune.
An island?
I think Tier's having a stroke.
I'm not having a stroke.
Hey, Tier, keep that to yourself.
Not that kind of stroke.
I
I'm
hope.
not having a stroke. I'm just saying
Okay,
a little
fine. A cardiac episode.
a cardiac event. It's an infarction.
I will say this for the whole conditions he had and symptoms and everything. He did a good job of playing all that out.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time buying the notion of, completely psychosomatic, but I could definitely get behind the notion of he's got the conditions, but it's manageable, except his guilt is driving everything
Yeah.
into overdrive.
Hmm.
Because stuff nagging at your subconscious like that will send, any of those conditions will just send you through the roof. But he presented it really well, maybe a little exaggerated, but you got to condense it into the movie and convince people.
Yeah. And BG, he does play Renfield. He doesn't play a vampire thinking he's a human. He plays an actual vampire. Though I've heard it wasn't that good. But I mean,
was he the vampire in Renfield?
Yes.
He was Dracula.
He was the vampire in Renfield, but I also was thinking of the
Vampire Smells or Vampire Kills.
yeah, the vampire's kiss.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Mr. Scott was kind of alluding to, an opposite of what that was.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a good long time.
Look,
You were incredibly lucky that you didn't. I was so disappointed.
Look, I'm still looking for when we get to the old way. So we still got another 20 years worth of films to go through, to where quite literally Nicolas Cage is playing a cowboy.
Nice.
Angela, I think I would have rather caught that one than another one, like 8mm. So
I've still rather caught that one than fucking Time to Kill, and I still
That-
wish this day that y'all didn't get
That movie was a movie, all right.
It was a movie. They actually put film on. They actually filmed that shit. Yes. I hope you all suffer for not watching it. Was when I go to hell, it'll be there waiting for me.
I will say though, they had a cast that played a very good roles.
Yes, all of them were, to my mind, all of them were convincing.
Yeah.
They did an excellent job of playing the characters they were.
Yes, I agree. I do like the daughter. She really did play up the teenager pretty well.
She did really well.
Well,
I also didn't realize she plays the main character in Drag Me to Hell.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I'm not sure I've seen that.
Maybe make that one an October movie.
We got National
There's
Treasure.
a whole bunch of ones we can do that. Honestly, I still think if we're gonna do anything for Halloween, we might do a freaking, depending how things are, might do a off Talking to the Void and go through the first. Well, since we've already done the original Night of the Living Dead, we'll do the remake Night of the Living Dead, then Day of the Dead, or not Day of the Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, then Land of the Dead. We'll leave Diary and Survival in the past.
Rotn.
They're not that good. What?
I have been looking.
Well, hold on. What tier?
Will we have to watch The Wicker Man again?
No.
Hallelujah. Okay.
I have been looking for a few of those and having trouble finding where I could pull them down. So, I'd game for that anytime.
Yeah, I've got them because they are a yearly thing for me typically as well. Survival of the Dead or Diary of the Dead is probably the worst of all the Dead movies. But going back to this movie, and we've done Thanksgiving. Next Thanksgiving, we'll be doing Thanksgiving 3, Mr. Scott.
They made 3 of those?
No,
Mr. Scott, I have to say Ginger Dead Man was a little bit better than Thanksgiving. But
That's because
Rotn says that Thanksgiving 3 is better than Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
So
Thanksgiving 3 has an actual budget. That's
So-
typically what
Wow.
helps a lot of things. And what killed Thanksgiving, the original one, was due to the fact that it quite literally was basically a college project.
mhm.
I mean, it still was hilarious.
So
Basically, my point is that Thanksgiving 3 might actually right up there at the same level as Ginger Dead Man.
yeah, because like that's the thing Ginger Dead Man had going for it, was the fact that it actually had a better budget.
And well,
Yeah, because Thanksgiving 3 is Thanksgiving 2 because they didn't have an actual Thanksgiving 2. It's kind of
that's
an
what I was about to
inside
say.
joke.
It's weird. It's like Trolls 2. There is no Trolls 1.
No, apparently the first pills they used for this movie were just Benadryl.
Okay.
Which explains why they were bright pink.
Yep.
Yeah, because not too many pills that particular shade.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So
What?
when Allison Lohman auditioned and dressed and acted like a 14-year-old girl, because Ridley Scott was the director, he only realized how old she actually was when she told him. She was 23 at the time. She was 23 at the time. So yeah, like this, when this came out was the year I turned 17. So like apparently either she knows how to use makeup very well and everything, or that's the way I can go. It's like she knows how to use makeup and everything very well to help all that.
In the 70s, it wasn't uncommon for, actors, much older actors to play teenagers.
Yes, that was a very common thing. We know that, but like
it's not even uncommon today.
Yeah.
The less common because of more child actors.
Yeah.
Well,
What I'm saying though is Allison looked and was able to pull off a believable 14-year-old. Not, oh, this guy's probably in his late 20s, early 30s, but we're given the suspension of disbelief that he's playing a 16-year-old.
Just goes to our acting chops.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, Scott Wolf was able to play passably a teenager until he was like 40.
shit, Michael Cera can play a teenager.
Some people can, but then you look at movies like some of the old movies in that, like, we can take both Grease movies and how none of those actors looked like they were teenagers.
Looked like they were teenagers. Thank you.
Or
No,
you
there
can
was
take
one
the guy
person
who
in
played
Grease-
who played Dexter, and whenever they had him play his younger self in his teens, they just put a fucking wig on him and shaved him. It was funnier than shit.
Well, there was the one girl that was supposed to be like 12 in Grease 2 that actually looked like a teen.
Who?
The girl that was like 12 years old
In
in Grease 2,
oh,
who was probably actually like 15 or 16. but
oh,
They had her play like a 12-year-old.
that's how it usually goes. Ugh. But yeah, this was definitely a funner movie than expected.
Yes.
Indeed.
I thoroughly enjoyed this one. This is one of the ones I will most definitely watch again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the next one we watching is National Treasure.
Oh,
I can't wait till we get to the knowing. That shouldn't be that far off either.
Don't
I'm
think
not sure what that is. Like, I recognize that. I might
So-
recognize the title, but I
Oh,
don't know what it is.
it's just knowing. Believe that's the
No.
one where he played it. Yep. Wait.
End of the world scenario.
Yeah.
Like,
I was thinking
I
of the movie
remember-
Left. Yeah, because he's done a few of those ones. The other one I was thinking of is Left Behind.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nightmare to get through.
I have not watched that version because I got like 10 minutes in and they had already fucked it up so bad that I was just like, no.
I mean, I have yet to watch National Treasure, but after that one, we have one of my personal favorite movies for Nicolas Cage, and that is Lord of War.
Merchant of Death.
But we'll go try to stay on on target, but on topic.
Yeah, Mr. Scott's got it. The pacing was pretty good in this movie. They didn't.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't drag things out needlessly. They didn't rush stuff.
They didn't rush anything. Yes.
Well,
like they didn't rush anything either.
They
It
had
was
the-
actually very well done.
the moments that were supposed to feel rushed felt rushed. Like,
Right.
hey, we got this moved up to today, not Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, the things that would be believably, oh hey, stuff has changed in your life, especially if you're doing this kind of thing. But that's not like, hey, we're rushing the plot.
Mhm.
That was, this is a factor in the plot
Yeah.
that rushes events in the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a timeline.
That's a big
impact.
difference.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, that's where it's a bad thing for them, because I mean, granted, it was California, so it's like you not supposed to have a gun anyways half the time. You know, like 80% of the time. That's why you keep the thing on you, because after that whole thing, like, I don't think it would have happened where they'd have been able to necessarily con me, because one, they'd have had to break into my place somehow, and I'm paranoid. Mildly.
You know, hey.
So
I don't believe
it'd been that whole thing of basically, as soon as he'd done that, I'd have been ducking behind a goddamn wall and whatnot, because as soon as I'd have came back out, I'd have probably, as I saw the gun, he wouldn't have been able to say anything else, because I'd have put 3 rounds in him.
Yeah, I'm behind this all, and that wasn't like that was around a corner where you'd have more than just a double layer of drywall between you and that gun. So I mean, that was actual cover, not just concealment. Not the best cover, but actual cover. You definitely could have reached an arm around and put 2, 3, 4 into him without a big bit of hassle.
Because then Frank would have been like, "Yo, you, oh shit," being like, "He's dead." Like,
Yeah,
is he gonna make it?
it's called breaking and entering.
Yeah, that's the point, that if Frank has got any brains in his head, which he's got some, because he's trying to pull off this long con on his teacher and his mentor, it's like, you saved us. I thought we were dead for sure.
Yeah. Then I've been like, "No, I have to call the police," and they've been like, "Why?" I've been like, "Because I just shot a guy."
But I mean, still, it's like you get into the, he was there. Frank's showing signs of, having gotten beaten up, definitely forceful entry and everything. And the girl can say, the girl can say, we came in and he was waving a gun at us and yelling.
Yep.
Yeah, it is reasonable assumption.
And of all those things, in basically just about every state in the union, note, not legal advice, but basically every state in the union, the fact that he has forcefully entered your home already makes it a reasonable presumption that he's there for something nefarious. The fact that he's there waving a gun while he did that, yeah, it does not, from the legal standpoint, it does not bode well for him versus you having defended yourself.
I'm waiting for one day for somebody to break into Rotn's house and hit him going all Tony Montana on somebody.
I
Okay, I reloaded.
Say hello to my little friends.
I feel sorry for anyone dumb enough to try breaking into Rotten's place. I really do. And that's despite my sincere belief that that level of stupidity deserves to be painful.
Look. At that point, when as the robber is opening up the window to break into your house, Rotn, God Himself's gonna come down. Like, you really want to do this? Like, I'm giving you 5 free seconds of instant time stop to reevaluate your life.
One time God shows up on the planet. Yo, fam, I'm gonna let you know you're not going to heaven.
This is not a good maneuver, son. I'm gonna do it anyway. Try it. When your guardian angel's like bitch smacks you out of nowhere and tell you to stop it and you don't listen.
I will say I'm actually slightly surprised that as a con man, he only kept his money in 2 locations.
Yes, he wasn't as paranoid as you would think.
Say, yeah, but if
Frosted
you
puts
look,
down lockpick.
if you look at where he kept them, though, from a general perspective, aside from the security of splitting up to multiple banks,
Mhm.
he was keeping the money in what would be considered the safest places available to, well, one of them being the safest places available to him. So then
Well,
it's just a question of diversifying the number of banks you keep it in rather than that. Because I mean, he was keeping it in safe deposit boxes. That you
well, what I mean by
didn't
that,
get a whole lot more secure in that day.
what I mean by that is basically he would have had, one would have expected him to have, okay, like the money that he keeps at his house for basically whatever he's going to do with it. And the money he has it basically set away for retirement. And then basically it's like another spot that has a rainy day fund. So that way, if anything happens, he can still go there and get that to where he can at least get by for a few months.
Yeah, well, I would go say from that philosophy, I would go basically 3 safe deposit boxes at 3 different banks.
Mhm.
Because you have the cash he kept in his house, which is basically day-to-day living,
Mhm.
and the immediate like quick con. You've got the cash that you plan to retire on in one place. You've got cash that you're using for your big cons in a second place, and then you've got your emergency bug out bag in a third.
Yeah. And then
And sure,
probably,
it's a little more expensive because 3 different safe deposit boxes.
yeah.
But on
I mean,
the
with
whole
the amount of
balance
money
of
he
things,
Well,
earned,
his bug out money was the money in the dog.
and that's where he screwed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
But again, we're critiquing a movie after watching and being like, here's how I'd improve
Right.
on that whole thing.
I mean, isn't that what we normally do?
Well, that's what some of us normally do. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about we're critiquing it after we watch it. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of this show.
There's a point to this show? Oh, yeah, there is.
Sometimes.
Yes, aside from just having fun.
Vaguely.
I mean,
I will
having
say that
fun.
for the whole thing, that they didn't try to go too deep of a connection between him and his supposed daughter.
Yeah.
Like there was the connection, but like they didn't try to make it seem super emotional and everything.
No, you ran into the superficial and the fact that, I mean, I think it played very well the just what kind of challenges you would have and the awkwardness of trying to go anywhere from that starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. Scott, for him not graduating high school in 2003, that still wouldn't have been as uncommon considering he was an older gent. So dropping out of the school that'd probably be like the late 80s wouldn't be as much of a career killer as it would in the past 25 years.
Yeah, you'd end up with a situation where 80-90% of careers you'd end up wanting to get a GED at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like a lot of corporate America today where practically everything that's not truly entry level is like, yeah, you got to have a degree. Why? Well, you got to have a degree. Yeah, but why? Well, you got to have a degree.
Yeah, basically they've made
Basically, have a degree.
in a lot of cases they've made the associates and the bachelors damn near the new high school diploma because of a bunch of bad parenting, I'll put it that way, from boomers and Gen Xers. No, that's just a guaranteed fact because most millennials were raised by boomers and majority of the fucking Gen Zers were raised by Gen Xers, and that was all the information that we were given, so college was pushed. Not by every parent, but by a lot of them.
And don't get me wrong, there are some career areas where it is absolutely necessary, even though they're going to do on-the-job training after you reach, after you get hired in, you're still going to have the on-the-job training. And there are certain fields where you got to have it along with the on-the-job training, because one of the things the degree imparts is it imparts all the standards and the rules, like accounting and law, or it teaches you all of the basics and mid-level stuff, and also shows that you know how to learn, like engineering.
Well, the biggest thing that kind of screwed a lot of stuff over was just the fact that because so many jobs that don't even in all reality need a degree are requiring a degree, it's to basically allow people to justify the reason why they went to college while pushing others to go to college while not needing it, and then still bitching about the fact they had to go to college.
Yeah, and they've effectively devalued the degrees for where they're actually important.
Yeah, because I want to say it was the grandfather on my dad's side, on my mom's side, never actually completed high school. Still was able to join the military because school wasn't required for that. But the man could build like there was no tomorrow. He also taught people how to underwater weld in a 5-gallon bucket.
God damn.
Wow.
And
this was also a man that was Well, this was the time, a time frame when that's what you basically did, was you just fucking worked. And he was good at building stuff. Like quite
underwater
literally
welding.
Yeah. Well, quite literally
big skill.
Yeah, quite literally before he passed, like probably 5-10 years before he passed, one of his great-granddaughters, so one of my cousin's kids, he built her a Barbie dollhouse. And I wish I'd have gotten a picture of it and everything, because he hand built everything. He made his own wooden shingles for it.
So
like this fucker was like 3 feet tall by like 2 foot wide by 2 foot wide.
Well, this is something you'd appreciate. My grandma was a self-taught artist. Never had a day of schooling, and she never had a single day of schooling. She dropped out when she was 13, if I'm not mistaken.
She wasn't some fucking postmodernist, was she?
No, she could do. She painted. She did ceramics. She did clay work.
I only bring that up because majority of the reason why postmodernism actually got so popular was because the CIA funneling a lot of money into it and saying it was better and paying people to basically say it was better so we could get one over on the Ruskies.
Nope,
actually,
she predates. I believe her artwork predates the whole Ruski thing. He was old. Even that
actually makes me feel a little jealous there and everything, because I certainly ain't on that level, and I actually have had About 1.3 art classes in my life.
Not a single one in her lifetime, and she had a successful ceramic business. It was small, like she did it out of her house.
That's how it
Right.
goes. I mean, that's just how it goes for some people. I mean, yeah, you can look at the whole fact of like them bringing up, oh, these different people who were millionaires, they dropped out of high school. Yeah, but they were also getting 4.0. School bored them. Like your
Yeah,
grandmother did the whole thing. She found something she was kind of good at and fucking went with it, and capitalism took its course.
yay capitalism.
It is an amazing economic system. This is true.
Yeah.
God help the comics that want to destroy it.
Well, we haven't had a true capitalism in the U.S. in a long time.
Yeah.
I hope that one day we aspire to be the Ferengi.
Yeah, because I mean, as soon as they had the whole thing
Oh.
of being able to have government bailouts, we're not rocking capitalism.
Rules of acquisition would do a great job for our economy, actually. So
It would.
Yeah.
Remember, peace is good for business.
Oh, and apparently the airport scene was actually filmed in LAX.
Oh God,
nice.
I wouldn't want to go to LAX to do anything. Flee LAX.
I wouldn't want to go to LAX because it requires that being in that first part of it, which is LA.
Well, that's like, even though, the Chicago O'Hare Airport is named after a badass of a former military member, I have no desire to ever go back to the fucking O'Hare Airport.
Yeah. Been there, done that. Don't want to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Also don't want to be in Chicago, so.
Yeah, Mr. Scott, like the hippie movie was arguably encouraged and helped push the three-letter agencies, and postmodern was part of that. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why every time you hear someone that says, our government wouldn't do that. Bullshit.
Fucking shit.
There's few things our government would not do.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's few things our government wouldn't do and admit to it.
Yeah.
No, you see here, there's few things our government would not do. The things that it generally would not do, most of them might actually be beneficial to us. So
one of these days, I'm gonna be talking shit about the government. They're gonna knock on my door. Hey, here, we've heard you talking shit. Hey, you wanna get in our van and discuss it? No.
I ain't going nowhere. I don't know you. That's my purse.
Stranger danger.
Look, all right. If I come back one day and I'm talking about, I love our government, Biden's the best, know that they gave me a lobotomy.
That would require a bit more than a lobotomy, but
duly noted.
They plied me with psychedelic drugs and they gave me a full frontal lobotomy.
Now that would be more believable.
Dude, I can see the cut. Tear goes all hippie. I start wearing ties.
Yeah, well, the way my brain functions and everything, I'd expect they'd hit me with the full spectrum of psychedelics, and I'd be like, "Dude, you got anything stronger?"
What, painkillers or coffee?
Abomination. You just fuck off to your home realm. How is Raloff this time of year?
I just came back and heard it's like, can I get something stronger? I was like, we talking painkillers or coffee?
Both.
I was almost waiting for Will to come back. Yes.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to know whose dog is dead, Mr. Scott.
I'm about to talk about how a dingo ate my baby.
Well, I mean, if it's the ATF.
say if it's the ATF, the answer is everybody. Everybody's dog is dead because they've never seen a dog they haven't wanted to kill.
Yeah.
Mr. Scott came up with, "You got a dog?" No? Well, somebody's dog is dead.
That's the ATF, all right.
Look, we didn't come over out here not to kill a dog. Come on now.
I did get the joke.
I just
Mr.
like the
Scott.
joke to where it's like an ATF agent ends up at the pearly gates. Like, what happened? He's like, I don't know, man. I shot his dog to make sure it wouldn't do anything, and then the whole room lit up.
I don't have a dog. Do they shoot cats?
Probably.
They would if they could get the bead on them.
That's why they have the
I
laser
guess
sight.
That's terrible. Probably effective on any cats but mine, because if the ATF broke in here, there are not enough laser pointers in the world to get them out from hiding.
The really weird part is there's actually
Accurate.
They buy you a dog, then
They
shoot
shoot.
it.
That's what I was gonna say. Probably accurate, Frosted. They buy you a dog for them to shoot.
they find a stray, bring it there,
Here, it's yours now.
shoot your neighbor's dog as well. Funny thing is, though, is there's actually a lot of dogs that'll chase a laser pointer.
It's the hunter instinct.
Well, I figure for cats, it's a combination of the hunter instinct and something in the wavelength really sets them off.
Mhm.
Because the hunter instinct is definitely part of it, because they'll chase a semi-coherent flashlight beam,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but that doesn't do. They don't go after that nearly as much as they do a green or red laser pointer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, because it's smaller and concentrated. They don't. With the
Yeah, it could just be that it's coherent light, truly coherent light, and it gives them a more focused target. But something specifically about that brings the more to their attention than just hunter instinct.
So if we ever want to distract Will or Hellcat, a shit ton of laser pointers. They'll never know.
You've heard about our feline school, right?
Nope.
We do teach. You don't follow Six on Twitter?
Oh yeah, I follow Six all the time. Yeah.
He references our school all the time.
Oh yeah.
Our graduates aren't laser proof, but do teach coping mechanisms.
And if you see the laser pointer, first look where it's coming from, and then shoot the guy that's pointing it.
Well, run over and shred them, but yeah.
Same difference.
Person holding its kibble, that's the only important thing.
I was gonna say, where's the food?
Tanner, right?
Oh God, my good arm! Why are you attacking my good arm?
Actually, Mr. Scott, I would totally do that to the ATF. Basically make a canine mannequin out of tannerite and place it where it catch them by surprise.
Reinforce the wall behind it.
Oh, definitely. You know that.
Well, that's why I still like what was done by, we're going to go a little bit on history and bring up something that Fat Electrician had covered. And that would be probably the most gangster politician we've ever had, also one of the most gangster abolitionists we've ever had, and that would be Cassius Marcellus Clay. That when he had his printing...
Ali.
No, Muhammad Ali was named after Cassius Clay. This is a man who grew up during slavery in one of the most wealthiest slave owning states in the country to the wealthiest slave owner in the country and became an abolitionist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was named after him and was a big disappointment in that.
Yes. But when he started up his own printing press and there was threats that they would come in there, he didn't expect his employees to fight to the death for him. So quite literally, he made a escape hatch. So if things happened, it was like, hey, you get the fuck out of here. You're an employee. It's like, you're my employee. I don't expect you to fight through this. So if the mob would have broken in, they'd have had to go down a very long hall that only one man can fit down. And there's iron on both sides of the walls. And at the end of the wall, or at the end of the hallway, is a cannon. You know, for self-offense. Because quite literally, he was planning to fight these fuckers one at a time. Yeah, this is the same dude who, when he was going around speaking about doing his abolitionist speeches because they couldn't tell him to stop, because he still had his freedom of speech, he would pull out a Bible and set it on a table from the sack that he had and say, for those of you who want an argument against slavery, he's like, from God, I give you the Holy Bible. Then he would pull out a copy of the Constitution and say, for those of you who want an argument against slavery for the laws of man, and he'd show that. Then after that, he would drop the sack and would say, and for those of you that neither that'll go, he's like, that'll be an argument of, he'd pull out the dueling pistols and be like, here's my argument. Because at that time frame, he also was the best duelist in the country.
Damn.
Yeah, this man was putting down slave owners like it was nobody's business.
You know, that right there makes me say, it reminds me of a story, and I forget.
Oh no, the next best thing is when they actually got a guy to try to assassinate him, some fucking crazy ass dude from Louisiana. The dude tried to shoot him, or shot at him, and instead, it did hit Cassius, except for it hit his metal knife sheath that he kept his Bowie knife in. So this Kentucky man started going basically at him and whatnot. I think he took an ear, took part of his nose, and pretty much the only way this this man from New Orleans could stop him or get him away from him was his friends basically had to throw him over a 7-foot brick wall.
God damn.
So this dude, also thinking that he's the genius he is, tried to take Cassius Clay to court, saying, hey, since he stabbed me the one time after I shot him, we were even. And this was reckless, unjustified behavior. Quite literally, Cassius Clay calls up his older cousin, who was the best lawyer in the country. This man had never lost a case. Quite literally goes into court and says, Your Honor, this is the behavior of an average Kentuckian. Basically slaps his own book down and is like, hey, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. And guess what? He gets acquitted. Oh, you should listen to the Fat Electrician do it. He does it way better justice than I do.
I'm gonna have to go look at his. Every time I look at a single video of his, I end up down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I have to watch his newest video. The only thing I haven't watched is like his really, really old stuff. Some of his really, really old stuff. But my personal favorites are Cassius Marcellus Clay, Dan Daly, basically the greatest Marine ever, the last war chief, and I honestly still really like the story of Sergeant Reckless. And by the way, Sergeant Reckless is a war horse.
I'm gonna guess you literally mean a horse.
I mean an actual horse.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
And comparatively to most others, to where they're like an honorary rank or whatnot. No, like quite literally, it's like at the end of it, Staff Sergeant Reckless had that actual rank and was considered of that because of what that horse she had done.
Nice.
Yeah, considering she was used in the Korean War.
No, I'm just laughing because Will and I both said the same thing.
Yeah,
Much respect there, Angela. Much respect.
I didn't even hear really what y'all said.
Voice.
Mm-hmm. He says it better.
Well, you gotta remember that you're not speaking with the American clear enunciation. You gotta get the oi in there. You gotta add an o, noise.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Well, apparently, for going back to the movies and whatnot, for the Nicolas Cage and Sam Rockwell, we'll see them together again in the movie G-Force, where they're voice acting.
Okay.
Oh Lord, isn't that the one with the hamsters?
I believe so.
Oh no. Oh.
Right, you don't pay me enough to
Yeah,
do this.
that's after knowing.
The funny thing is we run into stuff like that, and it's like I don't know if that makes me happy that I'm not a regular, like not an actual regular, or if it makes me happy that I've got an open invitation.
I mean, still the whole thought process. I shouldn't say the whole thought process, but like how he went down to going down Nicolas Cage's thing was just, I still think, a rather funnier story of just started off with the Jordan Peele movies, and then Tier recommended Willy's Wonderland, which is amazing. If you haven't seen it and you want to see Nicolas Cage kick the shit out of evil possessed animatronics while never saying an actual word other than to grunt and sigh and heavily breathe, that is the movie for you.
My headcanon still stands that it's just him.
Because then after that, we somehow got, I think that was also around the Amber Heard trial, we got in the discussion of that. So we watched Drive Angry.
That was a good
Because
one.
I was like, that's one of the few movies I've actually liked with Amber Heard, and she legitimately smiles in it.
She knows how to smile?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, that's like, what's her name? That's like, what's her
But
name?
does she know how to cry?
Well, does she know how to use the bathroom?
Those are irrelevant to that movie. So that's like the one chick who they got to play Captain Marvel. How she thought she shouldn't smile and whatnot through all of
Brie
that.
Larson.
Brie Larson.
Well, I think they told her not to.
Probably, but she had a lot of that shit through, like when she wasn't in the movie and like her shit outside and whatnot. But she's in several other stuff where she actually sing or smiles. And hell, the girl can actually fucking sing.
Yes, I loved her as Envy in Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
Fight me on it. She looked hot in that movie.
Okay.
Fight me.
I like Scott Pilgrim.
Well,
I didn't remember her being in it.
She was Envy.
She was. Brie Larson was Scott Pilgrim's ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
Remember the band Clash at the Demon Head?
Yeah.
See, Tier, the notion of her being hot in a specific movie really does not.
No, he did not say moist.
It does not particularly surprise me, nor does it really make me try and object or fight that or anything. I mean, she's not an absolutely ugly woman, even in Captain Marvel. And you figure that almost any woman can be made to look good in the right lighting with the right makeup and the right effort put into it. So, I mean, she's not an absolute troll to begin with, and they put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
Of course, she's gonna look good sometime, somewhere.
I mean, granted, all right. So my issue with her is she's the one of the people that should talk less, maybe not at all.
Yeah. When it comes, like, she should take the whole thing of, God, I can't remember what male actor it actually said. He's like, we're actors in that whole thing. For a lot of it, we get paid to pretend. So for a lot of it, like outside of this, we should just shut the fuck up.
You mean Kurt Russell?
Probably.
Right,
I mean, don't get me wrong. There have been times, actors have said some decent stuff. Like Matt Damon supposedly totally owned a dude for the thing about saying teachers weren't or were paid too much or something because his mom was a substitute teacher. And from what I heard of it, I was like, he's just being a douche. And I like Matt Damon's work.
Mad Damon.
I still love the thing a lot of people don't realize for Team America World Police is Matt Damon's puppet was actually supposed to be very well articulate for its speech. But when they saw the puppet, the only thing they could say was literally Matt Damon.
It looked derpy. And it was, I don't dislike the looks. I love the look. It was fucking hilarious. Mad Damon.
Yeah, that was one of the first movies I learned that some people. I shouldn't say I learned some people. I had said to one of my schoolmates that I found the movie fucking hysterical, and when he watched, he's like, "That movie wasn't that funny," it had all this dumb humor. I'm like, you knew it was from the creators of South Park. Like, what the fuck were you expecting?
He was expecting high art.
I've never seen it, but I don't expect something amazing.
I actually do recommend it, but it's a movie I actually more recommend, especially like that. It'd be something like do with your game group, have a few drinks, get a good little buzz going or whatnot, and then as the movie's going, just straight up roast the dumb shit that's happening.
Especially that would be fun.
Especially roast the depictions of what they did for so many celebrities because they are so fucking spot on for a lot of them.
Oh wow!
Baldwin didn't kill anybody in this movie, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yes, from the creators of Orgasmo, with other such works as Basketball.
The best Brie Larson movie I saw was the one where she got killed at the end. Well, I mean, I got the same philosophy about Leonardo DiCaprio movies. The best ones I've seen are the ones where he's dead at the end.
I think you don't like Leonardo DiCaprio.
DiCaprio? He's not too bad.
Depends on the movie.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I know a lot of people liked Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. No.
There's parts of it I like and whatnot. I don't care for it. I mean, in all reality, from a lot of stuff I've heard, supposedly it's not the love story people think it's supposed to be. When you when you actually look into it, because this whole thing is supposed to be over the aspect that he broke up with the one chick that he was with.
Technically she broke up with him, and Romeo and Juliet was never meant to be romance.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy. No, it's a tragedy, actually. Mm-hmm. It is one of Shakespeare's tragedies. The tragedy was the loss of young life because of the battle between families. Not.
Well, there was also supposed to be more of a thing of, basically Romeo was using this as a way to try to get over getting broken up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It showed the fickleness of young love.
Yeah, basically it was a rebound gone bad.
Well, it was supposed to be
the worst possible way.
It was supposed to be a rebound set up by a friend who did not understand what his friend is actually like.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I love is it's got a really interesting depiction in there too of cultural time and the culture and the time there, and the whole philosophy, the mentality of people who want to get mad and have a fight with other people, and they have specific people in mind. For some reason, I mean, there's a lot of lines from Romeo and Juliet that don't stick in my memory. I mean, probably more than half the play.
I mean, the only scene I know in that movie that I actually even like is I don't even remember the actor's name or whatnot, but he's like, he's like, bring me closer. I want to hit him with my long sword. And he busts out a
Hit me with my
fucking,
long sword.
he's busting out a fucking 308 HK91. I'm like, okay. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I'm like, I like this guy.
I want to say that was
Like-
Paul Sorvino.
Like every single other person was
was
like,
Paul
they're
Sorvino.
like, I'm gonna rock a handgun, and he's just like, I want a rifle.
Uh,
I mean, it's an SBR rifle, but it's a rifle.
It's a rifle. But you get the whole thing of, hey, I've had things where this has come to mind just to for something that you could analogize of a similar behavior. It's like, I'm gonna bite my thumb at them. It's an insult they can't none of them could possibly stand. And stand by to and everything. It's like, I don't even understand what that specifically means, except for something insulting about actually biting somebody's thumb in another person's direction. But you get to the
flipping them off.
I absolutely love that part of Romeo and Juliet in general.
But you go to, it's like, I'm going to do this, and then it's like, do you bite your thumb at me, sir? And you get the aside. It's like, is the law on our side if I say yes? No, it's not. No, I don't bite my thumb at you, sir.
At you, sir, but I do bite
my thumb.
And
then you get into, it's like, the general have at the from there.
Oh,
it's like, okay,
and
I'm not insulting you.
I have to make a correction. It wasn't an HK91. It was a Techno Arms Mag 7M. It's like a 7M1 shotgun. I still say for so much of that, like, I care less for the fucking movie. I just like the freaking guns that were used in it and some of the variations they did for a lot of the pistols.
See, I've not seen that movie, because I didn't want to get into the ridiculous remake with modern weapons and anachronistic speech and everything.
Oh, I don't care. Like,
which one? Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, or
yeah.
That's the problem that I really had with it. And Frosted, Baz Luhrmann made one of my favorite movies, which is Strictly Ballroom. He just also made that atrocity that is apparently William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, though I know William Shakespeare much better.
If Frosted does,
it wasn't that bad.
Frosted does make an interesting point there. Team America is high art. It's one of those movies that manages to be dumb and clever at the same time.
Well,
it's got some very interesting commentary in there.
Oh yeah,
in depicting different areas, as you're pointing out, the depiction, the satirical depiction of the actors and actresses and everything like that.
Oh yeah, well that's something Trey Stone and Matt Parker and Trey Stone. I always fuck up their names. Are pretty well known for. But if we're talking like going back to like DiCaprio movies, I still like Quick and the Dead.
I actually thought that was quite good.
I mean, it's a remake. It actually is.
Yep, I thought it was well done.
Yep. Oh, it's a spaghetti western of a remake. Like, they spaghettiized it even more, and I love it for that. Let's say I liked him in that one, Gangs of New York, obviously The Departed.
I want to see all of Gangs of New York. It's just really difficult for me to watch in one sitting.
And I still have to one of these days watch The Revenant.
I didn't know he was in. Oh,
I have heard that was good, and I'm just like,
Inception
eventually, maybe
was mediocre. I did like him in Django Unchained as the bad guy.
I loved him in Man in the Iron Mask.
He was good in The Man in the Iron Mask.
Yeah, definitely.
Django Unchained.
Yeah, Mr. Scott, we go in 8 different directions because quite literally we've discussed a movie of what we want to, so now we're talking more of movies.
8 different directions. When did we cut back?
I just threw out a number.
An estimation. Okay.
Well, that was a number. I'll agree with that.
And we don't have James the Contrarian here, so.
If you're going as an approximation, just a rough off the top of off the cuff estimation, it works. I've not been here every time but I've seen anything from 6 to 16. So, with exception of during the Tremors stuff, some of those it was only 1 to 3 rabbit trails.
Well, because we like those movies and we still wanted to talk about it.
Well,
Like this movie.
We like these movies.
Well, typically
but-
what happens is we bring up an actor or actress, and then they were also in this, which goes down, and yeah.
Which leads into that movie.
At least the pacing of the show was good. What pacing?
Wait, this show's got pacing, plot. What?
Are we
I don't
watching the
think
same
we-
movie?
I don't think our show has plot. I do agree that it has pacing.
Because I gotta make the joke. I'm pretty sure Angela has plot. Budumtis. Oh wait, no, wrong thing. I was gonna say, I actually have a thing for that. I could have went the.
I don't understand.
Bravo, Ryan.
Sometimes they're so fun, sometimes aren't they?
I didn't understand the joke.
You have plot.
It's a weeb thing. Like, there's a lot of people that will say this thing has good plot, but it basically has more fan service than an actual plot. Basically, meaning that there is women who have some big old tatas.
Angela.
Well, okay, in that case, I can't.
Angela.
So the joke is,
I
is breast or
can't
plot.
refute it, unfortunately.
Angela. It is essentially
Yes.
saying you read Playboy for the articles. That's what that's what he's saying.
No, he's saying that I have jugs.
No. When he said people say they watch it for the plot, is literally like saying
Oh,
No, my joke after that was saying out of all of us, Angela has plot. For fuck's sake, Tia, listen.
I'm not.
No.
I'm deaf in my good ear.
You're
Well,
deaf
then-
in your good ear. Oh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, don't ask about the tin one.
Hey,
Well, maybe-
the man behind the page.
I'm like Captain America. I can do this all day.
I will say I'm actually surprised they only legitimately had just the 2 guns in Matchstick Men. You had a Smith & Wesson Model 36 stub nose with probably a sub 2-inch barrel, and then a Car K9. That was what Bruce McGill had.
Well, you look at the size of the cast that they actually, as far as like the main cast that they had
Oh, I mean,
and everything, it's
this was
tight
one.
to the plot and everything. It's quite believable for them to not have.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is this one of those movies where it didn't require a lot of guns?
Oh yeah.
Right, because you had started out with 2 con men in their first marks and everything, and a lot of extra background characters. You introduce the new Doctor; he doesn't need a gun.
Mhm.
You introduce the daughter; she doesn't need a gun. You introduce the new Mark; well, he's one of the ones that had a gun.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of the ones that doesn't require a lot of guns. Now, if you look at something like, Face Off, that's gonna have a lot of guns. Lord of War
By
coming
necessity.
up, that's gonna have a lot of guns.
Captain Corelli's mandolin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Captain Brett Nerney's Mandalorian.
Which still has the freaking. I have no idea how good they actually were. The Beretta Model 38A. submachine gun. Sorry, one of these days I want a submachine gun. An actual submachine gun.
Would be nice. Would be very nice.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to turn around and have a show where Rotn just teaches me about guns.
Anything that would be done like that would be exponentially done better in person. To basically like do like have a if we could ever do it sometime, do like a either Rotten movie reviews range day.
Ryan takes Andrews to the range.
But for something like that, you would also have to do like recording it and uploading a video.
Oh yeah, that would all
anything handling guns. Oh, YouTube is.
Yeah, they are so retarded when it comes to like you can have a picture up in that and show video of it, you just can't handle it live on there. So no, besides the range I go to anyways, I get shit service, so all of it would be recorded.
See,
Frosted, he wants a Dom machine gun. Yes, those are called heavy machine guns.
I really, I'm just one more reason why I'm pissed at the NFA, and I can't wait for it to get thrown out under Bruin. I want my Thompson. When I was a kid, you could buy them from Sears and Roebuck.
Oh, I would love to get a Thompson, but just I would piss so many people off because I would take the buttstock off it and make a new one.
See, I want my Thompson. I want my Uzi. I want my MP5.
Oh, I mean,
and I know none of those are like the best options, but there's a iconic thing. You take it to a range 2, and you can really enjoy letting loose.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's the MP5 is going to be the best one. Everyone,
those 3, yeah.
Yeah. Just because of how it is, it's the reason why it's still in use today.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a love for some of the. I want my MTV. I just have a love for some of the old World War I and II machine guns, especially the submachine guns. Like, yes, pistol caliber carbines and that are not going to be the best, but I still have a love for them. And I would totally have to get like 2 freaking Thompsons so that way I could keep one pure and desecrate the other one to piss so many people off. Well, I would go for the forward vert grip, but I'm not going to go for the forward vert grip you always see in fucking the gangster movies because those things suck. But I'm going to replace the fucking
not Rotn.
The stock.
Frosted? Go ahead.
Listen, but I'm going to replace the stock with something that's actually good and then figure out a way to mount a fucking pick rail so that way I can put an optic on it.
Frosted only when MTV still played music.
I mean, that happened in history.
Yeah.
There was a time.
There was an age.
That was when I wanted my MTV.
Yep.
I mean...
Well, I mean, hell, when you had TRL...
I was a hell of a lot younger then, but...
When TRL was a thing, that was one of the few times you actually saw, like, new metal and hip-hop artists together. Unlike the regular. Because TRL was the Total Request Live, so it was stuff getting voted on, and quite literally... You had times when they were like the pop artists and the rap artists, but like somehow the number one was Korn.
Yeah, dude. Mr. Scott, I want my submachine gun, and the things that we don't think about is if it wasn't for all the we don't always think about. Well, some people don't always think about. I probably do. Is if it wasn't for all the unconstitutional gun control laws, the the guns that we all love and would love to collect and love to use and everything would probably be
cheap.
a quarter of their price from today, a third. And the ones that you can't get without a illegal tax stamp and all that kind of nonsense that costs hundreds of thousands, hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars and huge time delays and everything like that. Those would be plentiful and cheap.
Well, I mean, suppressor apparently the Form 1s or whatever for suppressors have actually been taken. I think the fastest I've heard is like under 24 hours for approval.
Right, but you still have all the unconstitutional steps and targeted tax.
Because I mean, I still want to get rid of I'd love to get rid of the Hughes Amendment, and I think it's like the 1930 or something was the other one that made machine guns extremely hard to get. Like, I want the NFA to go away because I want some short barrel rifles and some short barrel shotguns and some AOWs. And eventually a suppressor.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things where you look into it too and you realize just how much the government loves to argue both sides against you.
I mean, hell, you could just look at the fact that for the longest time, driver's license didn't exist. The only reason they even originally made them was the commercial driver's license for people that drove truck, just so it showed that they were supposed to be driving that.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the fucking states are like, hey, we can make money off this. Like, so much of the shit we have to pay is just fucking revenue generation for the states.
Tax revenue.
No, it's not. It's like, for a lot of it, it's not even fucking tax.
Yeah, well, it's
because you have to pay for the license and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's registration and everything. That's why I always find it funny when someone's like, well, you have to have a license to drive a car legally on the road. I cannot have a license, but if I have property, I can drive a vehicle on my own property.
Yeah,
and
actually, that's totally...
Yep. And for last I was aware of, for Michigan state law, as long as it's being parked in a garage or a barn, I don't technically have to get a fucking plate for it. They keep trying to change that law so that way they can go after people that collect vehicles.
Don't say you can't drive your tractor down the highway. Don't need a license for a tractor.
Yes, you can't drive your tractor down the highway because they don't go fast enough.
I was going to say that's illegal here.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're driving
legal road speed.
Yeah, unless you're driving a tractor for the state, typically to do stuff for the highway, like cut the grass and shit like that.
Which happens to require a specific type of license.
Mm-hmm.
I can't drive my tractor down the highway.
No,
There's
I can't.
Even country songs about that,
dude. I can't even drive a moped down the highway. Like they have a minimum speed limit you have to go, and for like any two-wheeled vehicles and whatnot, they have a specific cc's that you have to get for the motor. Well, technically the engine.
Oh. It looks like Will got booted.
He got bored.
His internet said, bye.
Well, unfortunately, that happens sometimes. I mean, we were having storms the other day here. But it has been almost an hour and a half. I think we're going to call it here.
Well, one of us already got booted, so we might as well.
Could have been his internet just went down.
It did.
So, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the knowing. Wait, no, I have that wrong.
National Treasure.
National Treasure.
Ooh, I like that movie.
I wish it was the 4th of July, but no, it is. It'll be the weekend of the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, because next Sunday will be the 30th. So yeah, National Treasure will be for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm pretty sure I already have that one.
We will be stealing the Independence Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of Independence on Independence Day.
Well, weekend.
That's true. It
Well,
can't be perfect here. Come on.
Son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to.
We have the Never Watch Alone on Independence Day.
Oh boy, we're gonna have to find something appropriate for that.
Something patriotic.
Mm-hmm. Too bad we can't watch Jaws. The 4th of July is in that.
Oh, that's for fan made movies. But we're gonna get out of here. So have a good week, folks. Don't forget to catch everyone on all the stuff they do. Links is in the descriptions. I'm not trying to speak off everything everyone does. That's a tier gimmick.
Wow.
I can't even just say that's a tier gimmick. That's about everyone else's gimmick. And I'm just like, hey, come visit us on Saturday. And when I'm doing something again, I should hopefully have some videos coming out. I'll have to do some commentary with that. And I'm going to try to be going to the range once a week, at least to put some rounds down on my shield to get better with it. So hopefully I'm going to have some more trash gun content coming out.
Yay.
So have a good one, everyone. Parting words, tier go.
Enjoy the weekend. Or enjoy the weekday.
Or I should say final thoughts of the movie. We'll go with that as well. So,
oh, good movie. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
I don't know what 10 out of 10, but it was fun. Angela, your final thoughts of the movie and parting words.
Thoughts on the movie? Definitely a good time. You should check it out. You'll have fun. Parting words? Go to the movie.
I was almost waiting for your typical thing of go to the theater. Though you don't say it like that. You're not like, go to the theater.
No, that's not me.
Hey, I won't lie. I went and did see the actual thing play of Wicked, which was entertaining. I did not get to go see... Fuck, I cannot remember what the...
Book of Mormon?
Book of Mormon. But we're
I
going
would love to see that.
I wanted to see that one. I just didn't get the chance. But we're going to get out of here, folks.
Damn it.
Have a good week. Later.
Later.
Have a good night, y'all.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Join us again next week, or you can check out the other people in the panel in the description and see us again plausibly on one of their channels, or just check out what work they've done. Have a good week, everyone.